Hello, my name is Mary Croy, and I'd like to thank the Baraboo Library for sponsoring this wonderful evening of poetry. I was living in Hanoi, Vietnam for 9 years, and tonight I'm going to do some poetry that I wrote in Hanoi. And the first piece, I was privileged to be in Hanoi in 2010 for the 1000th year anniversary of the founding of the city. And we usually think about the founding of the city as being done by kings, but really the ordinary people found a city and a country. So this is the founding of Hanoi. In Hanoi, 1,000 years ago, a girl was working, breaking hard ground with a hoe or something similar, and with each swing, she imagined flying a kite or standing on the wing of a butterfly. And for the first time, she felt alive. The next poem is a love poem, but I mentioned the Perfume Pagoda in it, and the Perfume Pagoda is an important site that's just outside of Hanoi. You have to climb a mountain and then you descend into the cave. Love 5 times. The first time I told you was on the hill, and the daisies stood their ground with us. The second time I told you was on a clear night, and we glimpsed the Milky Way. The third time was at the hospital, drenched in Lysol and tears. The fourth time on a street corner as we waited for the bus, you plucked a maple leaf. The fifth didn't seem any more hollow as we descended into the perfume cave. My voice echoed a little. Continuing on the theme of love, I love Hanoi, but the traffic is crazy, and this is my love letter to Hanoi. I don't care how much you frustrate me, assault my ears with wild beeping and shouts from peddlers. The blaring of news I don't understand at 6 o'clock in the morning. Why is it whenever I leave I get this sad feeling? I don't care how much trouble you give me. Just walking down the street, sandwiched between puttering bikes and shiny new SUVs. And the puzzled looks you give me whenever I utter a word. Why is it my heart sings every time I return? I see those 2 old sisters called Tam Dao, then I know I'm home. And I mentioned Tam Dao in the previous poem, and that's actually a chain of mountains outside of Hanoi. And one of my good friends lived in the foothills of the Tam Dao Mountains. And this is about the beautiful area around her house. Tam Dao Mountains, the muse of self-recognition. And suddenly the muse rises to listen to piano music and draw in Easter colors. Then the mountains shake off their scars and wildness reveals itself for the first time. Flowers in unexpected places and pure, cool water. And going back to Hanoi, one of the big differences between Vietnam and Wisconsin is the sunset. They do not have the leisurely sunsets that we have here in Wisconsin. It's very quick, maybe 30 minutes. And this is about trying to capture that. I used to like to eat outside at an outdoor restaurant, and I had kom sang fried rice, which was about the color of the sunset. Hanoi Twilght. Evening gives itself up too easily here. Not enough twilight or time to enjoy a burning orange sunset. I like to sit outside and watch it, eating komzang, yellow light racing across the sky, gone way too soon. And for a long period of time when I was in Hanoi, I lived on Doi Can Street, which is a very important street right in the center of Hanoi, but it's very busy and it's very narrow. Doi Can Blues. Doi Can Street is a hassle, even on the best of days. But today, walking, dodging, my head full of migraine remnants, it becomes an almost impossible task. No wonder I hide in my windowless room whenever I can, greeted by the circular saw, sputtering, grinding its way through stainless stained steel, hammering, the reflex poke of the old house being rebuilt. Buying medicine at a pharmacy whose sidewalks are torn up, I ever climb my way to the clerk's window. Today I can't cross the northbound lane. An endless parade of SUVs and mini cars. I swear my head off, feeling for all the world like one of those poor caged chickens trapped on the curb. And going home. It's a choice between tomorrow's breakfast, yogurt, milk, and bread, and crossing the tangled street for a cool, head-clearing 7-Up. I choose breakfast. Continuing on the theme of street life in Hanoi and the craziness of traffic there. This one I mentioned the old men playing Dang Tu, and the best description for that is I don't understand the game, but it's kind of like Chinese checkers. Like Alice. Looking backward along Luzai, I see piles of dirt and clusters of palm trees, a baby taking early steps, and 2 old men playing Dang Tu. I can't look back for long because they're tearing up the sidewalk and I'd fall down into a hole. There are old buildings that smell of humidity and gecko nights. New facades of shiny plastic. I stop and look at the PVC pipes sticking out of one of these holes. An old man straps a cinder block to the back of his motorbike. One more step and I'd fall like Alice. The last day of April is coming up, and in Vietnam, that's the anniversary of what we call the fall of Saigon, but in Vietnam, it's Victory Day. The last day of April. All day it tries to rain. Vietnam celebrates victory and maybe peace. I look at the ancient trees, beautiful in their asymmetry. Finally, the last poem is Letting Go, and this refers to a legend of one of the kings of Vietnam that had a magical sword, and then he threw it into Sword Lake after he had defeated the invading Chinese. Letting go. It's turning a sharp corner. You no longer see familiar sights in your rearview mirror. It's the popping in your ears as you descend Taipei 101. Or not pulling up dandelions on your lawn. You'll know when you're ready, then row out onto the lake and throw your sword into the unseen depths. Thank you.